Welcome back to our channel. Today we are talking about the writing up of your SBA for CSEC, specifically on the topic of hire purchase. So, let's get right into it. The first page will be the cover page. This template indicates the necessary information required. Now you will see that you need 1. A summary title of the topic your project covers. 2. The number of your group within your own class. This is assigned by the teacher in your class. The maximum number of students in a group can be 6 persons. Once there is at least one group in the class, then even individual persons are entered on the SBA upload system as a group but with one member. Therefore the teacher must assign a group number for individual persons as well. 3. The full and correctly spelt names and candidate numbers of each person in your group. 4. Your school. 5. The Caribbean territory you are from. 6. Your school's center code. 7. The subject, which is mathematics. 8. The proficiency. 9. The year you are writing your CSEC exam. And 10. The name of your teacher. Here is a sample of a completed cover page. Be sure to check all spelling and grammatical errors. Ensure your full name is there. Ensure your candidate number is correct. Next, the project title. This is weighted as 1 out of the 20 marks. Be sure that your project title is clear and detailed. It must tell about solving or investigating a real-world problem. You must be specific about the real-world problem. Here are some examples. 1. To determine the most cost-effective hire purchase plan for a console 36-inch 4-burner stove at 3 different stores in Trinidad with an available deposit of $350 and monthly budget of $350. 2. To determine the most cost-effective hire purchase plan for a console 36-inch 4-burner stove at 3 different stores in Trinidad so that Mr. Jones can spend the least amount of money for the item. 3. An investigation to determine the most cost-effective hire purchase plan for a console 36-inch 4-burner stove from 4 different retail stores in Trinidad. Note that the item you are investigating the hire purchase plan for must be specified. For example, mention the brand and its specific features. Example: a Samsung 54-inch smart television, a console 36-inch 4-burner stove, a Samsung 25 cubic feet French door refrigerator, or an LG 3000 BTU air conditioning unit. Now you must be sure to choose a specific item that can be found at 3 different stores in your territory so that the hire purchase plan will reflect for the same one item at those 3 different stores. For example, you should not obtain a hire purchase plan for a Samsung 54-inch smart television in store A, but then obtain a hire purchase plan for a Samsung 60-inch smart television at store B. These are 2 different items. Also remember never to mention the names of the stores you visited. Next section, the introduction. This is weighted at 4% out of the assigned 20%. It is important to note that the introduction has 3 parts in it. The table of contents carries 1 mark. The description carries 2 marks. And the objectives carries the remaining 1 mark to make up the 4 out of the 20 marks. The first part is the table of contents shown here, which carries 1 mark. As long as the page numbers and all sections are correctly placed, then you shall get a full 1 mark. The second part of the introduction is the description of the project. This carries 2 marks. Here the description must relate what is the scenario or real problem. Who are you helping and why? How are you helping to solve this real-world problem? Or how are you going to investigate the real-world problem? What is the purpose of project? Or what is the importance or reason for doing the project? Look at this example here using Mr. Jones from the previous video. The third part of the introduction, the objectives. In this example, we show how we are going to solve this real-world problem. We are 1. Going to collect the data from the 3 stores. 2. Then, we will do calculations to get the hire purchase. And, for the additional money the customer will pay if they enter the hire purchase agreement. And 3. We will use statistical charts to help us solve and make a decision from this real-world problem. Here you can also include an image of the appliance. Be sure to put a label for it. Example: Figure 1 showing a console stove. It is important to remember that The table of contents should be placed after the heading Introduction, but before the description. You can also lose that 1 mark for the table of contents if you do not place it correctly. Next section, the method of data collection. Here is a sample for a hire purchase project. It is important to note that this must be written in paragraph form, in past tense. Include information such as what instruments were used to collect the data, such as surveys, interviews, questionnaires, observations, examinations of records, and even experiments. In your appendices you must show evidence that this data has been collected. The write-up of the data collection must also be a clearly described and appropriate data collection method that shows detailed description that states exactly how, where, when, and by whom the data was collected. This method of data collection is for 2 out of the 20 marks. Here is a sample of the questionnaire used to collect data at Store A. The questionnaire must include the actual information or raw data you collected. It can be handwritten and then scanned, or it can be scanned. For this type of project, you must have the raw data from all 3 stores attached in the appendices. Section 4. The presentation of data. This is a very important part of the project where the student presents the data that he or she has genuinely collected. This section must again be in past tense. This section is marked in 3 parts for a total of 5 marks. The presentation of data does not have to be divided in 3 sections. 2 marks are awarded for accurate and well-organized data throughout. 2 marks are also awarded for logical use of statistical charts, such as tables, graphs, diagrams, frequency tables, bar graphs, comparative bar graphs, pie charts, histograms, frequency polygons, cumulative frequency curves, and so on. These charts must be accurately labeled in order to get the full 2 marks. Here in this hire purchase example we see that the tables, bar charts, comparative bar charts, and pie charts were used and correctly labeled. And finally, for 1 mark, the student must have in the presentation section appropriate mathematics concepts used to arrive at the results. All mathematical results must be presented using appropriate formula. Some examples are mathematical mean, mode, range, area, volume, percentage profit and loss, hire purchase price, interest gained by the owner, and so on. Here in this hire purchase project, we see the sample calculations for Store A are clearly and logically shown. The formula was also provided. The remaining calculations are also attached in the appendices for Store A and B. Thus far the cover page, project title, introduction, and method have been completed. Part 2 of the video also has a template to use to perform the calculations and to plot the statistical charts. The remaining video will cover the presentation, analysis, discussion, conclusion, references and appendices. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons, share the video, and help our channel to grow. Thank you.